Hey everybody, so I was just dragged into a conversation about the price of a game compared to the content that you get, and I wanted to quickly touch on that in this. So still on Dying Light the Beast, and somebody brought up the map size, and is it actually worth it? So I've completed the game, maxed out the level, and this that you can see, the lighter area, is the playable map. Now you can run across from this point all the way to the other side of the map in about 5 to 7 minutes, depending on running into zombies. The darker area that you can see around the screen that does have stuff there. There are tunnels, buildings, caves, lakes. It's all locked off, and we can't access any of this, right? So I seen in conversation a lot of people saying Techland had over 3 years to work on this. They changed it from a DLC to a standalone game, and being as they had 3 years, should there be more map, right? Because it's a full price game at £70 for the deluxe version. And my personal take is yes, the map should be bigger, a lot bigger. There's at least 35% of the map locked off. Now you can go around the map, you can go into certain hideouts, and you can see a full picture of this map fully opened, where it'll show things like Crystal Lake. Again, you can see the caves, you can see the buildings. For example, down here I've got cars that clearly show on the map, but you can't get anywhere near them. There's another lake there. So yes, the map should be bigger considering Techland had 3 years and they're charging £70. Um, there is a lot of content in the game, but not necessarily, from my opinion, the way it was marketed. We were told there's a million secrets in the game. Well, not a million, but there's lots and lots and lots of secrets. And I'm not, like I say, coming up to 92 hours into the game, and there's not actually secrets. It depends on your take of secrets. They're more this sort of thing, right? So if you go to collections, you've got things that you can collect, or you've got treasures that you can find. There's not secrets as in secret weapons so much, because there are a handful of legendary weapons, but not enough that you could say you've got hundreds of secrets in the game. And the reason that I think the conversation was brought up is £70 is roughly the price of Dying Light 2, right? And for that, you got the two areas. You got the main hub area, the big one with the skyscrapers, and then you got the small one. In Dying Light, the original game, we got the slums, then we got Old Town, then we got the following, then we got a ton of DLCs like the prison heist with it. So when you compare that, you have to compare them to the base games of Dying Light 1 and 2, because this is marketed as a standalone game, which puts it in the category of a Dying Light 1 or a Dying Light 2, right? So I can understand why a lot of people are a bit miffed that there's only 15 levels in this, and that there's limited weapons, and that when it comes to the weapons itself, it's so expensive to craft them with needing wiring for everything and feathers and all that sort of thing, that if you're mid-fight doing anything, you're basically going to get stuck to a point where you either need to craft a weapon that you don't have the resources, or you need to repair a weapon and you don't have the resources. And the same can be said for, like my previous video, the bullets. The bullets are too expensive to buy, like 2,000 coins for 12, or when you pick them up, it's just clearly not worth it. I will say, if you're a Dying Light fan and a Techland fan, then obviously you will buy the game. But in my opinion, do Techland need to do a lot more to this, what they class as a standalone game now? Yes, they do. It is worth the money for a fan of Techland. But for somebody that's new coming to the game and for the first time stepping into a Dying Light, yes, Techland need to do a lot more than they've actually done. Had they left this as a DLC, or even charged £20 or £30 for it, I think that the taste in people's mouths might be a bit better. But if you compare a £70 and other game coming out at that price, you're going to get a full game. You're going to get a very big game and a lot of weapons, a lot of quests. I mean, I think if I was to put a number on it, I'd say there's probably between 15 and 20 main quests in this, and then round about the same in side quests. There's not a lot. You can actually complete the whole game in less than 20 hours. Um, so yeah, I do understand what people are saying. I just wanted to put my thoughts onto whether I think it's justified, the complaints, and it is. It is if you consider, like I said, the cost of this game. And the fact that, you know, everybody's struggling for money this day and age, and when you ask your fan base to fork out that type of money, then, you know, it's really got to be worth it for them, because otherwise people will be very dubious when it comes to buying your next game or your next lot of content. But that said, guys, as I've said, I'm not negatively criticising Techland. I've been a fan of Techland for many, many, many years, since way before even Dying Light 1 came out in 2015. I just want to see them do things right and reward people for spending the money and supporting their company rather than taking the money and run, sort of thing. Do you know what I mean? It's a great game. It's just a real shame after all the years of development they've had on this to turn it from a DLC to a standalone game, which they did, that so much of this map is locked off. Right? There's so many hours worth of exploring in these locked off areas. Yeah, it's a shame, it really is. But I do hope to see some DLCs. I think the main problem is PC players at the moment are moaning about performance and stuff, and it's always going to be harder to code for a PC than a console, because a console is a set piece of software that doesn't change, right? Whereas with a PC, people can have different graphics cards, different memory. Everything is so different that it's very hard for a developer to cater and have it balanced for everybody. If you look at the Steam charts, you'll see a lot of people, especially a lot of YouTubers, claim to have 4060s, 4090s, 5090s, but the Steam charts don't actually show there's that many people using them, which, you know, that makes it hard for developers, because if you cater for the people that claim to have high end, and then when on release, most of the people don't have high end, then yeah, you have problems. But that's it, guys. Thank you for listening to me talk. I didn't intend to make this video. It was a conversation I got dragged into on do I think more should be actually done to Dying Light to reward the people that have bought the game, whether it's base game or deluxe. And in short, my answer is yes, I do. I don't think there's enough map to justify 3 to 4 years development, and the little variety of weapons that we get, and the ones that we have got, are very expensive to craft compared to the materials that we actually find. But that's it, guys. Thank you for watching, and if you've got any suggestions on any videos you would like to see, drop it in the comments below, and I will catch you on the next video. Until then, have a good weekend. Bye-bye.